Right now, somewhere on Earth, millions of people are kissing. Some do it when they meet, some before saying goodbye, some on a first date, some after 50 years of marriage. And most of them never stop to ask a very strange question. Why did humans start kissing in the first place? If you looked at it through the eyes of an alien, kissing would seem pretty bizarre. Two people move their faces close together, they close their eyes, press their lips together, sometimes for a few seconds, sometimes for much longer, and somehow they enjoy it. But where did this habit come from? And does it actually serve a purpose? At first glance, the answer seems obvious. Kissing is connected to love. But the problem is that love existed long before the modern idea of romance. For most of human history, people didn't go on dates. They didn't buy flowers. They didn't celebrate relationship anniversaries. And yet, kissing existed thousands of years ago. One of the earliest written references to kissing comes from ancient Mesopotamia, more than 4,000 years ago. These texts describe people kissing in both romantic and sexual contexts. But archaeologists and anthropologists suspect the practice is much older than writing itself, possibly so old that it predates civilization entirely. And this is where one of the most fascinating theories begins. Some researchers believe kissing may have originated from feeding infants. Today, that sounds strange. But many ancient cultures practiced something known as pre-mastication. A mother would chew food and pass it directly from her mouth to her child. Similar behavior is not unique to humans. Some birds and mammals still do something comparable today. It's possible that these early mouth-to-mouth interactions gradually became associated with care, trust, and affection. But that's only one hypothesis. There is another, and it has to do with smell. Although most people never notice it, the brain receives a huge amount of information during a kiss. So much, in fact, that some scientists describe kissing as a biological compatibility test. During close contact, we unconsciously detect another person's scent, chemical signals, pheromone-like compounds, characteristics of their immune system. Research suggests that people are often attracted to partners whose immune system genes differ from their own. Such combinations may help produce offspring with stronger immune defenses. In other words, part of your brain may be evaluating another person long before you're consciously aware of it. That may explain why so many people describe a strange experience after a first kiss. Someone can seem perfect, attractive, funny, interesting, and then something changes. The spark simply disappears. Scientists still debate exactly why this happens, but it's possible that kissing helps the brain quickly assess compatibility between potential partners. And that's not all. During a kiss, a remarkable chemical reaction takes place inside the body. Dopamine levels rise, pleasure centers become active, stress levels decrease, and the body releases oxytocin, often called the bonding hormone. This same hormone plays an important role in trust and emotional attachment. In a sense, the brain receives a signal. This person matters. Pay attention. Remember them. That's why kissing can strengthen emotional connections between people. But if kissing is so beneficial, another question appears. Why don't all cultures kiss? And this is where things become surprisingly complicated. For a long time, scientists assumed that romantic kissing was universal. But modern research suggests that isn't entirely true. Some traditional societies have little or no history of romantic kissing. People formed relationships, fell in love, raised children, yet rarely used kissing as part of courtship or intimacy. This suggests that kissing is not a required feature of human behavior. The biological mechanisms may be universal, but culture appears to play a major role in how those mechanisms are expressed. Still, one curious pattern remains. Even in places where romantic kissing is uncommon, similar forms of lip-to-lip or face-to-face affection often exist. It's as if different cultures repeatedly arrive at similar behaviors on their own. And perhaps part of the explanation lies in the lips themselves. Human lips contain an extraordinary number of nerve endings, far more than most areas of skin. Even the slightest touch sends a powerful stream of signals to the brain. That's why a kiss feels completely different from touching someone's hand or shoulder. But there is another side to the story. Every kiss involves an exchange of millions of bacteria. A study published in the journal Microbiome found that a 10-second kiss can transfer tens of millions of microorganisms between partners. That sounds unpleasant. But most of these microbes are harmless. Some researchers even suggest that this exchange may help the immune system adapt to unfamiliar microorganisms. Of course, kissing can also spread certain infections. So, from a biological perspective, kissing involves both benefits and risks. And yet, humans continue doing it for thousands of years, generation after generation, despite the bacteria, despite the diseases, despite the fact that, from the outside, it looks a little strange. Why? Perhaps because kissing combines several things that the human brain values most: closeness, trust, attachment, pleasure, curiosity, and the feeling of connection with another person. A kiss may look like a simple touch of the lips, but inside the brain, an incredibly complex system is at work, a system that evolution has been building for hundreds of thousands of years. And perhaps that's why humans keep kissing, not because someone invented it, but because our brains continue finding reasons to consider it important.